Orlando, can you take us through the process and how you ended up deciding to come back?
It's a great question. It took, obviously there was a lot of, how would I say, a lot of decisions that had to be made between myself and my family, and a lot of praying, a lot of weighing through things, and a few days of some uneasiness, and getting a chance to talk to Brad during those times was really important and key in terms of being able to decide what the next step was going to be for me and my family. And we're really excited to be coming back and seeing all of you and checking out this beautiful facility. And I joked because got in yesterday. It's the first time that I got a chance to see everything, and was sitting with Joey and Fletch and thinking, man, you remember all the hours we talked about what we would like in this building and this and this and that. Now to see it live and in effect, it's impressive. It's impressive.
What drew you back here?
The chance to work with Brad again, a chance to work with Tim Anderson, Jeff Alexander, and Joey Biggs, and the young gunners, and Zach, and Tyler, and all those guys. The things that we were able to do here the first time around was special, and we got the thing going. Obviously, my family and I continue to watch and support throughout the years that we weren't here, and I just think we have a really good, deep friendship between everybody here on the staff. So it made sense.
What stands out to you the most about where the program's gone from since you left?
It's not surprising what's been happening, because it had started to head that way, and Brad's a phenomenal coach, unbelievable motivator, a great recruiter, and now you add the support of the fan base, the excitement that's in the state, and even now across the country. It was no surprise that it was going to continue to go that way.
I mean, when we did this 7 years ago with you, there's a lot of talk about what Illinois basketball could be. What's it like to come back to have maybe a cell like this is what Illinois basketball is?
Yeah, it is. I just want to make sure I don't screw it up. My job is to come in and try to be supportive of the work that the guys have done here. Like I said, Coach has done a great job of putting together an incredible staff, guys that work, guys that have incredible relationships. They develop players. They got deep relationship with the kids and their people, throughout the country. And I just kind of want to come in and be supportive of that.
What was that relationship with Brad able to kind of stand the test of time, and what made it so strong that when you come back?
Brad and I have had a strong relationship for many years, even prior to when I was coaching at South Florida. I would run into him on the road and try to pick his brain on different defenses, different offensive philosophies. Obviously, he coached one of my college teammates in Willie Cauley, and then we were battling it out for his son on the recruiting trails when he was at South Carolina and I was at Kentucky. So we've had our friendship and our relationship goes deep. And then, my wife and his wife and his girls and just the families are really stay connected throughout the years, and it's a genuine friendship.
Recruiting has changed a lot since last time you were here. How has those changes with the transfer portal and NIL impacted how you approach?
You mean the portal combating?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just it's part of the landscape now that you have to adjust. The beauty of it is, like I said, one of the benefits that the coach has is that, and being a junior college coach, he had to do that an awful lot, where you have to try to replenish and replace almost an entire roster every year. And it's the landscape of basketball now. So, it's a lot of juggling. It's a lot of trying to put the pieces together. It's a lot of conversation. It's a lot of going back and forth and trying to make sure that the pieces are fit and that the kids that can come in and continue the culture that's already been established here.
I know Brad talked, obviously, he wants to elevate this to a national championship, and that vision aligns with you. So why can this place win a national championship?
Because of all the things I mentioned prior to. You got unbelievable coach. You got unbelievable fan base. you're able to recruit the top players in the country, and you know, when you get to a neutral site, that's where the impact of the fan bases really happens, and you know, that's when you get into the tournament, and you are able to get a little bit of an advantage with that, to be able to try to advance and to get to the last weekend of the tournament.
You're going to get a chance to work with a couple young bigs. Like, what do you kind of know now about Kerry Booth and Rez Johnson coming in?
Guys that are extremely talented, have a lot of ability. I'm excited to try to deposit the things I can in them. Not that they need a lot, but looking forward to spending some time with them, getting to know them getting to know me, and encouraging them, putting my arms around them, and pushing them.
What did Brad task you with Portal Combat? What did he say you need to go do now?
Like always, you got to go get players. You got to go get players. So we're constantly working on that and scouring the universe. Let me just say that.
I mean, recruiting, is it still relationships even in this era? Like, how much does that still matter, you know, compared to prep recruiting and all that?
It does matter. It matters a lot. I mean, the relationships is what gets you in the door. Then it's about what you can sell in terms of your program, your vision, and all those things. And there's a lot to sell here, a lot.
Brandon mentioned international a couple of times. I know you've been overseas a time or two looking for players. Is that possibly expanding the footprint here for Illinois in that way this year?
I think Illinois is a global brand, and I don't see why not. I don't think we will limit where the Illinois brand can go, and so we'll continue to try to expand that.
Does the pool of players, both in the high school ranks and the portal, does that follow you from school to school, or do you have to start over when you go to a new school?
No, I mean, some will and some won't. It depends on relationship. It depends on opportunity. It depends on need. And so, you know, every situation determines what those things can be, and you know, we will look to see what pieces can fit, and then we'll try to recruit those kids that meet the needs.
Were you surprised when Brad reached out, or did you kind of have a sense that your phone might be ringing from it?
No, I mean, I wasn't surprised, because we have maintained throughout the years, you know, conversations, and you know, I joked with him about, you know, taking the shirt off with the gun. I said, next time, make sure you spray paint boxes. And so, but yeah, I mean, it just, you know, that instance just showed how much fun that team was having, how exciting it was. But yeah, we've stayed in communication throughout the years, and just shooting the breeze, and sharing philosophies, and just chit-chatting.
I know you've accomplished a lot with Coach Calipari. What was it like just parting ways with him? I know with his new opportunity there.
You know, Cal is one of the greatest to ever do it, and for me to be able to have 9 years to have worked with him, learn from him. He's someone that I still consider a mentor. You know, who I talked to last night. So, you know, this business is all about relationships, and I think when you go about things the right way, those relationships withstand any kind of challenges, any kind of changes, and those kind of things.
Very excited to announce the return of Orlando Antigua back to our staff, and you know, I call O the kind of the godfather of college basketball in terms of being an assistant coach. He's one of the great connectors of people, fabulous coach as well, but a guy that has proven his worth in terms of what he's done recruiting at every stop along the way. Obviously his latest stop being at Kentucky, some of the top recruiting classes in the country. So excited to have him join the fold. He's a guy that obviously is very familiar with this place, had very good vibes about where this program was going and the direction it was going, and excited we've been able to continue to grow that, and that he felt like winning a national championship was and is within the realm here, and is on the same mission as I am. in terms of being able to do that. So a great friend, welcome him back, and excited to have his laughter, to have his mind, to have his connectivity with our players and our coaches. Just a wonderful guy on all fronts.
Since you know each other so well, he's been here, was there any pitch you had to make toward him?
Sure. I think the one thing that it was a transition, obviously going on at Kentucky, and I think it was an opportunity that his familiarity. I think he had a lot of great friends in the Champaign-Urbana area while he was here, outside of basketball. I think that he felt very comfortable. We had to, you bring up those things and the importance, but I think it was the continued success of this program, the relationship that he and I have kept throughout, and he's not just a colleague; he's a very good friend.
What qualities make Orlando such a successful recruiter?
Well, one, he works really, really hard, but most importantly, he's got a magnetic personality. He's got a great sense of humor. He relates well with people of all ages, whether they're 18 or whether they're in the adult world dealing with young people. He's knowledgeable. His background, playing, his success with the Globetrotters, his success as a player has just allowed him worldwide to make connections, and that's invaluable. There's very, very few people in this business that have a network like he does.
Brent, you mentioned national championship. I know that's the goal. Orlando wants that too. What about this move helps you get to that goal?
Yeah, I just think he's a guy that has the ability, like I said, to go worldwide. He's put together and strung together, and he did it here. Top recruiting classes, find great players, find players that fit. He and I have a great, connectivity. I think he fits extremely well with Tim and Jeff. And the job that those guys are doing. Those guys are not to be, lost in this. They've done a tremendous job as well. So, I think that he's just got a worldwide network. He's got the ability to recruit high quality players and connections to do that throughout the country and throughout the world. And when you're trying to win a national championship, as proven by UConn, they're going to have 5 or 6 guys drafted this year. So you better have really good players, and that's the goal here.
What? On a personal level, like Orlando believed they need to help build this thing up from where it was, to come back and elevate it. What does that relationship just mean to you?
A lot.
Basketball?
A lot. It's I say this all the time. That, to me, basketball is about winning, and it's about relationships. And when you have those two things, a lot of other really positive things come out of that. And winning's really, really hard. You got to have tremendous trust, tremendous loyalty, camaraderie, connectivity, all the adjectives you want to use. And to go through it once with him, and he was new to me and me to him, but to go through that now a second time and have the familiarity, have the comfort. He knows what I'm thinking. I know what he's thinking. And the personal side of the relationship means a great deal. He's believing not just in what I'm doing, but most importantly what the university and what this program is continuing to do and build on.
What did you see from him in Lexington that you're excited to bring back to Champaign this time around?
A lot of good players. I think that's stating the obvious. Obviously, Coach Calipari is in Kentucky have been at the forefront of alluring really, really good players to their university. And again, that's one of the reasons that Cal went after it. Is his ability to connect, his ability to recruit top flight players, his ability to mold them and develop them. I have tremendous value in that. I say all the time we're a development program. I think the job that O did with Kofi, with Georgie, and developing those guys was remarkable. You know, it goes beyond just the obvious, which is the recruiting piece. It also goes to the coaching and the development piece as well.
What can his impact be with Kerry and Perez and whoever else you have?
Yeah, no doubt, it's huge, and we're getting, you know, a couple young guys in Perez, and obviously Kerry's played and got 30 plus games under his belt, but you know, a guy who played that position, a guy who knows and understands the position and what it takes, and you know, he's very knowledgeable, so I'm excited about those young guys being able to learn under his tutelage.
What role will he have in attracting guys out of the portal?
A lot. I mean, he is, as you know, the portal is no doubt a prominent piece of everything that we're doing. We're not shying away from that. I love the pieces that Tim and Jeff have brought into this point, and you know, as that portal continues to evolve from players, not just going in here late, but around the world as well. You know, I think there's a tremendous footprint that could be left by Orlando in terms of those areas. He'll be very dialed in as well.
How did this process begin? Did you contact him, or did he contact you and say, "Hey, I'm not going with Cal to Fayetteville"?
No, we've stayed in touch, and it was, and I asked him. I reached out. I was, you know, just to see what his interest level might be, and in terms of coming back and helping an old friend, you know, from there it just kind of turned into a process, and you know, it was very comforting for me to not hear a no or I'm good. It was very comforting to, you know, let me go through this, and so we end up at this point, and you know, couldn't be more thrilled for our players, our fans, our administration, you know, his counterparts on the staff, because he is a guy that will touch everybody in every facet.
With Luke entering the portal, does that alter or add to what you're now looking for as you fill out the roster?
It's, you know, again, in a world where everything's very transactional, you know, it's almost to be expected, and you know, we've been recruiting you guys at multiple positions, you know, throughout, and you know, like I said, many times I know how to count to 13. We may get close, we may not. You know, fill them all. We'll see, but we do know that we have to identify a few things yet in terms of getting this thing right where I want to get it. But we're on a pretty good start at this point, I feel like.
How much is maybe on Ty to be able to talk about being the keeper of the culture? Because you'll have the most experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the culture's open. Obviously, I'm the keeper of it. I've got to be able to pass that on and push that through. But obviously, you've got guys that understand. And I think in today's world, you know, you get a couple guys. I always said that when I was a JUCO coach. You just get a couple guys, no matter where they're at in the program. You know, they have to understand what we're doing, understand the lingo. I think the summer becomes important, you know, in terms of the time and just establishing things. But I feel like we've been very forthcoming with the young people that we've signed in terms of what our culture is, what we're about, and then we'll continue to implement that as they start to arrive and move forward in building that.
What is the balance of that, of having some continuity, to know what you do, and upgrading talent, obviously?
Yeah, sometimes continuity can be, you know, you can have too much. You know, I think there's a certain excitement that comes with the newness. I think there's some level of comfort when you have guys back and you have guys that are comfortable. I was very comfortable, obviously, with Coleman and Terrence. I knew what we had in those guys. You know, on the other hand, there's just a tremendous sense of excitement, because I think the guys we've got, and the guys I know we're going to get are really talented and can do some different things. So I'm excited to see how that all comes together.
Is high school recruiting still a big piece of the puzzle?
It will be, absolutely, absolutely. I think that there's, as we get away from the COVID year, the fifth-year guys, I think you'll start to see high school guys. They're going to become important for us. I don't know how important they'll be for everybody, but they're going to continue to become important for us. I think that we need to add 2 or 3 every year to that mix, and keep developing those guys and have them go through it. But I think that's an area that we've been pretty consistent with, is trying to add a couple of those guys every year.
What goes into the conversations with like Josh on, hey, I think I can bring O back. Do we have the resources for this? Like, can you help me out?
Well, I say this, and this is not to be cliche, but coaches win games, administrators win championships, and Josh has always been extremely supportive of my goals and ambitions to win a national championship here. And when I approached him with the idea of Orlando coming back, he's obviously at the top of his field, not only in what he does, but in his earning power, and he should be. And he's been a head coach, and Josh was fantastic in doing everything that we could do as a university to help accommodate that, and for that I have tremendous respect, and it's why our program is truly where it's at, is because of Josh and the administrative support.
Do you feel like you have everything to compete for national championships now? Do you feel like you're at that space of?
I thought we'd been there for a couple of years. I think we proved that we could be that when we were a 1 seed. I think that we're playing on a national schedule. I think that TV loves us. I think that we're selling out every night. I think we're creating an atmosphere. I think our brand is exciting. I think when you've got a top offense, all those things play into it. This continues to add to that, adding Orlando, a guy that everybody really around the world, but in the college, in the world of basketball, knows O. And so I think that that just continues to enhance our brand. And the day that I don't think we're competitive enough to win a national championship will probably be my last, and I think we're a long way from that.
I know it's only been a week, but is there any clarity on Marcus's waiver, and how do you handle? Obviously, he's very talented and he can help a lot. So how do you handle the construction part of that kind of up in the air?
Have heard nothing new, and we'll continue to say my prayers every night and hope that all that works out. I think I've always kind of taken the approach when guys were in the draft, didn't know whether they were going to come back or not. You have to think worst case scenario, and that you're not going to have that person. And if you do, it's just kind of the icing on the cake, so to speak. But there's been nothing new, and we'll just continue to play that waiting game, and as he continues to go through his processes for the next level.
What's the dialogue like with Coleman right now? Obviously, he's got some options on the
Sure.
table.
Yeah. It's no different than it was, a year ago. And Coleman had a fantastic year. I think from a mental side of things, I think Coleman has achieved a great deal. And I don't know how much more he can gain in the college game. Coleman is so smart, so high IQ, great feel, great understanding. I think that he's in a great place there. I think he shot the ball. I think he made major enhancements, and as he goes through his process, I think he'll be more aware of what that process is, and he'll succeed. And for a guy who played a little bit less than 100% this year because of that knee, just had a fabulous year. And if he chooses to go, man, I'll be 100% on board with that because he had such a great year.
In terms of the high school recruiting that you talked about, is there a thought process or philosophy that, hey, I might be recruiting this kid for 2 years down the road for when he's in the portal, maybe we'll go after him? Just create a file that way?
There's no doubt. We're not getting them all.
Right.
So I think the more that you reach out and touch and have some sort of relationship with, the better. And I think that we try to never do it anyway, but try to never burn a bridge. We try to never keep relationships open and with everybody. And again, it's the world we're living in, very transactional, and I think that's still a relationship piece that you have to have, knowing that you recruited him, you brought him in, and Quincy's the greatest example. I mean,
Kind of
3 times with Quincy and so Kylan, but again, it's something that touching high school kids, and a lot of them, can be very beneficial, knowing that you're obviously can't take them all and you won't get them all.
In that same vein, with so many new faces that will have multiple years of eligibility, does it feel like you're building not only for this year or next year? Or do you only think this year now in this new age?
Both. I think that the one thing I'm excited about is this group of guys, even though they have multiple years, has experience. You're not taking guys that haven't been on the floor at the highest levels. It's encouraging. Obviously, your main focus is year to year, and it's got to continue to be that. I think that there's no reason to think too much beyond, but yet if you do, and you recruit good players and they stay, that again, it's just a bonus. But again, we're going to, especially with transfers. I think high school kids, you would assume that maybe they're not one and done, but again, they can transfer. So it's year to year, but you do like the fact that we're a little bit younger and have that possibility. Thank you.